Hey guys, I'm Naya and welcome back to the channel. For today's video, we're doing another best decks tier list. The last one was huge. Today we have 76 decks to cover, so I think we need to go ahead and get started. Like the last video, please comment what you think. On the last one, you gave me so many responses and I'm so grateful for that, even though you bashed me in a couple of comments. And yeah, I know all of you Dark Magician players that just really had it out for me because I didn't place Dark Magician high enough. I'm sorry. I'll try to do better this time around. Maybe. You'll see. You need to actually watch the video. And we need to actually go ahead and get started. Before we begin, I would like to encourage you to comment down in the comment section what you think of this tier list. I'll be doing it completely just right now on the spot. I haven't thought of pretty much anything like beforehand. So it's just straight up me looking at decks and just placing them. So there's that. Also, make sure to subscribe. A lot of you are still not, and I would really love for you to be part of this community. So now we can go ahead and get started. Like I said, we have 76 decks to cover, so it's gonna be a while, but I'll try to not be too long. So starting off, we have Tyrion, and I decided to put two pictures in here of Punk and of Tyrion separately, but I just mean it as a thing together, so I will not actually go through these pictures to try to find the Punk picture. When we do, at some point in time get to it, I'll just place the Punk picture next to the Tyrion one. So Punk Tyrion, I think this is probably the best version of Tyrion right now, and it is seeing some success. So let me think where I want to place it. Honestly, let's do it tier 2. Somewhere probably towards the bottom, because this deck does seem to me like it struggles going second. You have, especially if you're playing that kind of deck, you have a lot of disruption for your opponents. So when they're trying to do their plays, whether it be Punk Tyrion, ABC stuff, whatever they may be doing, they seem like they struggle a bit. So yeah, I think we need to place it in tier 2. We'll see. We'll see if I change my mind halfway through this. So we have ABC. And I'll put ABC in Rogue, like at the top of Rogue, because with the addition of Tyrion and also Brave, like ABC Brave just seems so cool to me. And Brave, I guess, makes it so you go a second a bit easier. And it's not like the deck is exactly struggling, but it is a Rogue contender, I still think. Maybe like bottom of tier 2, top of Rogue, somewhere around there. Then we have Adamantia. So Adamantia is, I don't know, I think I'll just put it in not good. It's like, it's not bad, but it's not really doing anything. It doesn't have the representation. And it's also like, hold on. So I thought I was gonna do it in the cozy bathrobe, but it's way too hot in here. Okay, so continuing, Adamantia I think is not that great just because there are better combo decks to pick, and that's pretty much it. Doesn't have the representation, it's kind of struggling, doesn't have Block Dragon, doesn't have Link Cross, doesn't have pretty much anything that really made it as good as it was. So the not good tier I think is fine. Then we have Altergeist, and Altergeist is like, it's just not good. I don't exactly want to place it in the bruh tier, but it's there are much better trap decks right now, so I wouldn't choose Altergeist. Then this picture is a representative of Based. So Based I still think is, where do we want to place Based? I think I'll place it in tier 1. Probably somewhere towards the bottom. We'll see how the other ones like sort of stack on top. But I don't think Based is that bad. I realized that, the Anaconda hit, for example, hurt a lot. And, Aurora Dawn, like all of these cards sort of part of this combo. It's a bit annoying that they're gone for the Based deck, but I still don't think the deck itself lost that much just because it consists of so many different engines which can still work well together with the addition of Jet Synchron, for example, and Hulk, of course, being still legal. You have all of these synchros, you have the Brave stuff, you have Illusion of Chaos, you have everything pretty much available to you. So I don't think it really went somewhere down to like, I don't know, rogue or anything like that. I still think it's a top contender. All right, now we have the insect deck. And last time around, I really did this deck dirty. Like, I shouldn't have put it as low as I did. But right now, they don't have access to DPE anymore. So I think I can easily put it in not good, maybe above Altergeist, I guess. But it's really not great. Then this picture is representative of Lyrilusk. I guess Lyrilusk is not exactly a deck by itself. If you think about Lyrilusk and also include Tri-Brigade, forgot the name for a split second, I would still put it in tier 2, maybe above Therian, just because Therian is not exactly, it hasn't been as, I guess, worked on. It's sort of a new archetype, being from Dimension Force. So compared to something like a Tri-Brigade, which has really been tried and tested with many different engines, as well as the Lyrilusk engine archetype, however you want to put it, I still think this version is better. However, Appaloosa Revolt is not exactly the greatest end board, and Brave being so easy to deal with Appaloosa, I just don't think the deck is that good of a choice to pick up. There is the version with Zodiac, all of that, but right now we're only focusing on the Lyrilusk stuff. So I guess it's still tier 2, but probably somewhere towards the bottom. So yeah, then we have Blackwing. So Blackwing will be getting support, which is nice, but we are talking about the format right now. So I still want to put Blackwing in not good. It's not doing enough. It's a combo deck that's way too fragile, so I don't think it should be any higher than that. Then we have Blue Eyes. Now, a couple of these are sort of hot topics over here on my best decks tier list. I guess we have the Blue Eyes, the Dark Magician, Math Mech. You know, I have had beef, I guess, in the comment section. No, I'm just kidding when I say all of that. I honestly appreciate so much that you comment, but I still find it so funny that a lot of you were like, I guess, kind of offended by me putting like Blue Eyes or Dark Magician or stuff like that too low. I'm not saying these decks are that horrible. I just look at it in a way where there is no representation and actual success with the deck. So it's not like I'm against any of these ones, but you know, it's not exactly great. So I think I'll be putting Blue Eyes in the bruh tier. And please don't come at me. But yeah, then we have BA. BA is just, it's just not that great. I guess we can put it in not good. Yeah, somewhere at the top of not good would be fine because it is doing what BA does. Like, the stuff is at 3, except Beatrice. So everything is at 3. You have the traps. You have the standard, I guess, trap BA build that you can play. You can play with Phantom Knight if you want. You can do all of that, but I don't think you will be that successful just because the deck itself is not doing enough. In the fast-paced format we are in right now, and overall for the past couple of years, I don't really think it has been doing anything except for that one point in time where you had the Sika's Light, you had the Orbital Hydrolander, you had all of that, but that's not exactly the time we are in right now, so it's not really doing enough. I really want to one-take this. I don't want to cut it. I want it to be genuine, but my throat is hurting, so hopefully my voice won't be too weird when we get to like the 60th deck or something. Then Access Code, if I'm not mistaken, is supposed to be representative of Cyberse, so I think I'll be putting Cyberse in Rogue. Honestly, this deck, if you don't know what to disrupt and if you're not prepared, it can easily catch you off guard because it does a lot, and then like they pass, and then if you cannot break the board, they will OTK you. And yeah, it's not like, I mean, the deck is not better than Rogue, but it's still not bad. Then we have Crusadia. Crusadia is not good. It's at the top of not good, but it's still not good. You know, it does what Crusadia does, it OTKs, but you can disrupt that like legit 50 times before they can get to that OTK. Like, yeah, maybe they kaiju you, but with the boards being the way they are right now, either you have a lot of like disruptions, negates, or you have hand traps, or you have back row, or with something like Despia, you know, these kinds of decks that sort of throw another disruption like on top of everything. So even if the Crusadia player would, I don't know, Kaiju your Mirror Jade, you still have the Chimera like just lurking in the background, and it's just not enough that, you know, a couple of disruptions. So yeah, I wouldn't exactly say Crusadia is that great. Then we have Cyber Dragon, and you see with Cyber Dragon, they really, really, really utilize Anaconda, like being able to just get out that Dragoon or DPE or whatever you maybe needed in that particular point in time was huge. So I think I'll put it in Rogue because it's still it can be oppressive, you know, going second, and you know the contact fusion stuff is still a threat, but still, you know, it's not exactly that great. It does include Therians, however. I mean, it can because they're all machines, and with the addition of Regulus, you have that additional negate, which is always nice. But still, you know, not really better than Rogue. Then we have the aforementioned Dark Magician deck. I think I'll put it in not good. So last time I think I put it in bruh. Dark Magician is just funny to me, and if you ask me, the trap card, like the Eternal Soul or whatever that's called, that's like a horrible card. I hate that card so much. If any of you can relate, please let me know. But yeah, I guess I just have this beef with Dark Magician for whatever reason. I don't think the deck is that bad, but like I said, it's lacking representation and actual success. It does have support, as well as like Blue Eyes also has support, but these decks are just not really good compared to other ones. So yeah, then we have DDD, which I think, do I want to put DDD in tier 1 or top of tier 2? I'll put it in the top of tier 2 because I sort of have an idea of what I want to put in tier 1, and I'm only putting it in tier 2 because I would say that it's way too hard of a deck to actually pilot to be successful with it in a way where the conversion rates like make sense. Hopefully what I said right now makes sense. Like, you really need to be good, so not a lot of people will like naturally just be successful with DDD. But the deck itself is insane. I like it so much because it's really resilient to hand traps. It spams the board like it's nothing. It does reward really good technical play, which I can appreciate, you know, when it comes to a good deck. So yeah, top of tier 2 I think will be fitting for DDD. I guess we'll see. So now we got to Despia. I'll put it in Goated, and I'm pretty sure it's going to be the only deck that actually stays in Goated. And when it comes to Despia, it's so interesting because I always like to say, like, we always talk about this with my husband, like, a deck is, I guess, as good as the player base makes it. So naturally, when a lot of people will play Despia, the deck will be as great as it is, and the entire meta will adapt to it. The deck itself is didn't seem that much of a threat at first. It sort of seemed like, yeah, it can be dealt with. But right now, looking at it with so many people picking it up, and then obviously so many people together, like their minds will just come up with the greatest text and the greatest just cards and combos and all of that. And the way the deck has evolved with the Branded Lost, with the addition of Kit and the Albion and everything basically that it has right now, like legit, the deck is really, really, really annoying to deal with. It's consistent. It's just strong. Like, the pressure it puts on board is really there. Mirror Jade is horrible to actually have to deal with it. Like, the end phase Raigeki effect, the Masquerade just makes it so you cannot play legit if you don't want to die. So yeah, Despia it has really taken over, and it's like not like we didn't expect it, but I don't think we really like expected it in as big of a way as it happened. Like, it immediately started topping, and yeah, I know I'm going really slow, But yeah, I really wanted to touch upon Despia a bit longer because I do think it's the best deck right now, and I really think that it's going to just take over most of the nationals right now. So that's something to keep in mind, I guess, when it comes to that. Then we have Dynamorphia. So let me stop for a second and catch my breath. I'm going really fast and it's so hot in here. I need to like... So, Dynamorphia is, I'll put it in Rogue, above Cyber Dragon. I don't think it's tier 2. I don't think it's worse than Rogue. Like, somewhere here, I think is the perfect place to just place it because of the Rexstrum and the Frenzy. Like, this is what the deck needed to actually be considered like a nice trap deck, in my opinion. Like, it wasn't exactly horrible, but I didn't really see a lot of people picking it up. But right now, with the Rexstrum, with the Frenzy, you're just being able to just, you know, loop it back is annoying as hell if you need to deal with a Dynamorphia player. And if you are a Dynamorphia player, I don't think the deck is bad. Like, honestly, if you're trying to pick up like just a nice trap deck that's not exactly Eldritch, I would say go for Dynamorphia because it really doesn't seem bad. Then we have Dino. I'll put it in Rogue, above Cyber Dragon. Like, Dinosaur has been around for such a long time, and Misk, the hit to Misk really sort of crippled the strategy, and I think the hit was correct. I don't think Misk should be a 3 or anything like that because the Dino deck with Misk is just, it's not fun to deal with. It's honestly just lame when you need to deal with an effect that just prevents you from actually interacting with your opponent. Yeah, Dino is not bad, but it's not exactly great. If they open the perfect hand of like Lost World and Oviraptor or like the Pancratops and the Fossil Dig and just this mashup of just good cards, then, you know, great. But that's not exactly the case like at all times. So yeah, I wouldn't place it any higher than that. Then we have Draco, which actually got a boost on the ban list, which, you know, it's nice for Draco, but Draco is still not great. Draco is going to be kind of a bad deck unless it gets Masterpiece back. So I think I'll just put Draco in not good. Like, it can be somewhere at the top of not good, but it's just really not good. Like, what are you really going to do with Draco at that point? Just use a different deck. Just use Eldritch or something if you want to play traps. I just don't think the deck is that great unless it gets Masterpiece back. So then we have Dragon Link. I honestly don't want to place Dragon Link in Rogue. I'll place it in tier 2. But still, Dragon Link has been power crept. It's struggling to really keep the pace with all of the other decks. Despia is sort of decimating Dragon Link, so there's also that to keep in mind. And overall, the deck, I think, is just... it breaks sometimes, and you really need to make the perfect build and adapt it to that format. And it's just... it's way too much struggle, you know, to go through to actually play Dragon Link. So right now, I don't really see it doing that well. We might get surprised with some, I guess, occasional tops, but not much more than that. Then we have Dragon Maid. So, I don't know. Do we want to put Dragon Maid in Rogue? I guess somewhere here is fine. What Dragon Maid does is not inherently, like, bad or anything, and the actual extra deck monsters are kind of hard to deal with if you don't have the perfect hand going second. But right now, I think the format is evolved to the point where you can deal with that, you know, one disruption and then the seal bounce. If nothing, you have the Brave Engine, probably. So you need to deal with seal, you know, with the help of Draco back. And then you just need one more card to bait out the extra deck monster, and that's pretty much it. I don't think the deck is a threat, is what I'm trying to say. It's just not good enough to really compete with the best of them. And yeah, then we have Jagunity. That's just not good. Bruh? I don't know, do I want to put Jagunity in bruh? I guess I'll put it at the bottom of not good. I'm not that familiar with it to actually diss it to the point to put it in the bruh tier. But yeah, it's not that great. Then we have Dredshon. We can put Dredshon in tier 2. It got banned 10 to 2, which, you know, nice for the Dredshon players, but I guess Tier 2 is fine. Higher than Dragon Link, probably higher than Tyrion. Okay, here's fine. So, I do think DDD is probably better than Drychon, but similarly to Drychon, you need to be a good player and really know the ins and outs of the strategy to pilot it well. So Drychon with the Benten at 2, that's a huge boost, honestly, and it's sort of interesting to see any kind of Drychon build, in my opinion, because the engines are so different, you know, you can use whatever you want, and I really like when I see a good Drychon build, you know, just perform well. So yeah, I mean, tier 2 I think is very fitting. Then we have Earth Machine, and I'm sort of looking at Earth Machine similarly to, I guess, ABC, but maybe a bit lower. We could, I guess, squeeze it in here. No, I want to put it below ABC actually, so just, I guess, to the top of Rogue. I think Earth Machine is a bit of a threat, just because it can easily run trap cards, the Floodgate trap cards, I mean, so like Rivalry, which is really nice right now, you have Gozen as well as an option, and when you can utilize those kinds of cards while actually having a strategy that can easily go second as well, and if you include Tyrion with that one negate, that really helps the Earth Machine archetype, because like, this deck just dies to Nibiru. Like, you cannot do anything. And if you have that negate, it's just much easier to deal with your opponents. So yeah, low-key, I think that, you know, the Earth Machine is a bit of a threat. So there's that. Then we have Eldritch. So I need to catch my breath again. We need to put Eldritch in tier 1. I'll put it at the top right now. I do think some decks might go higher, but yeah, Eldritch for sure. Like, you have had the Cyber's build, of course. Right now, that's not exactly a thing, but overall, Eldritch is just really nice. Like, you have a way of utilizing any kind of trap card that is really great at that point in time in the format. And right now, I think something like IDP is really nice. And the actual Eldritch engine is not exactly bad. It has never been bad. So if you just play a regular Traplich build, I don't think you can go wrong. And honestly, you know, it's nice seeing Eldritch like right where it is, because the strategy can be dealt with if you know what to do. If you know how to bait out the cards, if you have the side deck cards, of course, like just ready and at your disposal. But if you don't take that into account, just looking at Eldritch, you know, it's still a really nice deck. So yeah, I think I'll place it at the top of tier 1, just confidently. And then we have Exodia. So Exodia is Exodia, you know, needs to go in the broad tier, of course. And pretty much nothing else needs to be said. You can play Exodia with Mystic Mine, because Mystic Mine is still legal. So, you know, if you're going for that Exodia Mystic Mine thing, just, you know, go ahead. Then we have Flunder. I'll put Flunder in tier 1. Do I want to put it above Base, though? I guess, yeah. Like, Based overall is just pretty much anything you want it to be. So Base can legit include like Eldritch stuff. It can include Fiber and Jet Synchron and just a bunch of stuff that you want to run. So with Base being as, how do I put this? So it's just a mashup of random stuff. And if it works well for you, then nice. And if it works well for you at a particular event you're at, then also nice. But overall, looking at it, it just, you know, Flunder just makes a bit more sense. And I don't like Flunder, but I still think it's a threat. Dimension Shifter is just annoying. Although it doesn't hurt Despia as much as maybe, you know, a couple months back when it was really just an incredibly busted hand trap. So yeah. I think that's pretty much it for Flunder. Then we have Fluffle, which Fluffle is... Where do we want to place Fluffle? I'm debating between not good and... Oh, I threw it in not good. Okay, I guess we can leave it there, but like, I'm debating between not good and Rogue. I do think Rogue is not that fitting though, because Fluffle is not as strong as some of the decks in the Rogue category, but I still don't think Fluffle is exactly, you know, a deck to be sleeping on. Like, it can OTK you easily. It can just straight up surprise you. A lot of these decks can actually, but yeah, I guess top of not good. Then we have Toad. So Toad is representing frog paleo. So Paleozoic frog, like the trap stuff with Toad, with Miss Star Boy, like that strategy. We need to take into account that Splight will be coming out, but for this tier list in particular, I am not looking at it right now. So it's there, and I'm thinking frogs will have a lot of potential. Maybe not exactly the paleo version, but I would consider, just picking up the frogs and have them ready for Splight. However, right now, this is just going straight up in the not good tier. I guess next to Altergeist would be fitting because they're both trap strategies that just fell out of favor. But yeah, be on the lookout for actual just frog stuff together with Splight, but not without it. So then we have Goki. I love Goki a lot, but I don't think I should be biased. So I'll place it in... Oh, where do I want to put it? I guess we could put it at not good, but somewhere at the middle. Yeah, next to Altergeist is fine. Like, it's a deck that didn't really lose anything, but other strategies just became better. I think this is the perfect way to, make sense as to what's happening to these decks. It's just power creep, and they're just not good enough, and they cannot hang with the best of them. And as much as I love Goki and all of warrior stuff, you have so many warrior stuff. You have a lot of support, you have a lot of extenders, you just have a lot of stuff to do. Isolde, is an incredible link monster. But yeah, those decks are just, it's actually really interesting to look at it, like how power creep impacted some stuff. But Goki probably cannot go higher than that, sadly. We have Hero though, which I'll be placing Hero, I think, at the top of Rogue, actually, like next to ABC. It might actually be better than ABC. Maybe I should leave it at the top of Rogue, because a hero is a 3. If you manage your resources properly and you don't just snowball out of control and then have your board broken or something and then just flat out lose, if you don't do those things, then you really can be successful with Hero, because the deck is definitely not bad. It can OTK easily. It has had a lot of support in the last couple of years. So if you perfect your build, if you play it to the best of your abilities and to the best of the potential that the deck actually offers, I think you can do well with Heroes. It's not better than Rogue, but it is something to consider if you're maybe trying to pick up a Rogue strategy. That would be one of the best ones. So that's pretty much it. When it comes to heroes, we have Atignister, and Atignister is just, it sort of reminds me of these decks which I mentioned before, like BA and stuff like that. It's doing something, but it's not doing enough. So the link, of course, it cannot be dealt with. Like, if you cannot just beat over it easily or something, it's a problem. But those decks sort of struggle with the fact that, yeah, they have like 1 or 2 busted cards, but you really need to get to it, and other strategies are inherently just better overall. So the deck itself will probably struggle. I do think still the not good category is not exactly fitting. Like, the deck is not horrible. We could place it at the bottom of Rogue next to Dragon Maid. It's similar to that because they both do something, but they don't do enough. Like, hopefully I'm making sense. Then we have Infernoble. So I think Infernoble should go in the not good tier. The Auroradon hit, it's so funny because Auroradon was a huge problem, of course, but what it really hindered the most was Infernoble. And that's so interesting to me how, hits are always like, they're not direct always when it comes to some strategies. And indirectly, Infernoble was hindered a lot by this ban list, so I will place it in not good, actually. I just need to find a spot for it. I don't know. Is it too low if I put it next to Blackwing? Like, is it doing more? I don't think it is. Like, I'm not that familiar with Infernoble. I didn't really care much for it, but I do know that they utilized Auroradon to the best of its abilities. So yeah, Infernoble is just not that great. Then we have Infernoid, and Infernoid is just not good. Do we want to place it like next to Infernoble? Just for fun, because they have a similar name. I guess we could do that. But yeah, this deck is just, it's really old and it cannot compete. Like, it can easily be dealt with. What I usually like to do is just throw everything at there's one effect in the spell and trap card zone. I don't remember of which card though. I like to just shove that. Or the normal summon, like the little guy, I just deal with that. And usually Infernoid cannot do anything. And when you have something like that in the strategy where you just know what the problem is, what the choke point is, and they cannot play on from that point usually, that's pretty much it. Like, I don't think Infernoid is a threat. Then we have Invoked. And I was thinking about that. That's actually, fun fact, that's the only deck I thought about beforehand where I want to place it, and I didn't really decide. I might put this at, I don't know, bottom of tier 2. Because who exactly is still playing this? It's not like the deck is bad, but Despia is just better. And since Despia is almost a Shadow deck, it's legit the Invoked Shadow. It's the Ideas deck, but it's just Despia. And that's so funny. We also talked about that a couple of days back, how Konami just likes to print, the same stuff over and over again, but it's just a bit more busted and essentially doing the same thing. So you lose you just drop the strategy, move on to the next one. And I feel that way about IDS. Like, Despia is just IDS, but where do we place IDS right now? If you know what I mean. Like, I guess tier 2 is fine. I guess I'll just drop it here at the bottom of tier 2 because no one is picking it up. And this tier list, I guess, is also meant to be a guide as to how many of these decks you can actually see at events. And when there is no representation, no conversion rate, nothing like that, it doesn't really make sense to place it any higher. Even tier 2 is like a bit weird. But there's still Winda, there's still Nadira Servant, there's still Makaba. Like, you have all of these cards, and when someone actually places that board in front of you and you need to deal with it, you just might go to game 2 and end up winning the match, probably, if you have a deck or skill, that's good enough. But yeah, I don't know, bottom of tier 2, I guess. Like, let me know what you think of these kinds of decks where they don't really lose anything, except for, I guess, Nadir Servant going to 2, but they don't do much either. I don't know. Okay, then we have Cosmo. So Cosmo is also one of those decks that I really dislike, and I have no reason for it. I just don't like it, and I guess I'll place it in not good. Maybe next to Infernoid. Like, it's Cosmo. It's been around for such a long time, and at this point in time, I don't think, like, your deck can do well if it cannot deal with Cosmo. Like, Cosmo is one of these decks, all of these ones actually here in the not good category, also in Rogue, seem to me like if you cannot deal with them, then your deck choice just isn't that great. So yeah, I guess Cosmo can go down here. Then we have Life Twin, which for me is definitely Rogue. It's one of the top Rogue contenders, probably. I guess next to Dynamorphia would be a good spot to put it. Evo Twin is nice. The Link 4 really gave Evo Twin a bit of a boost, and they kept getting support to get to your like starter monsters easily. You have enough space to play hand traps. You have enough extra deck space to just play a lot of flex spots and utility cards. So overall, I like this strategy a lot. I just don't think it's higher than Rogue. I don't think it can necessarily compete that easily with the best of them. But yeah, it's still not a bad deck. So, Evo Twin, I'm very much on board with. Then we have Lunalight, and this deck is also a point of a discussion when it comes to me and my husband. We like to talk about Lunalight a lot, because when a deck such as Lunalight or an archetype can utilize something that's very generic, and right now I'm talking about rank 4 Xyz monsters, when you can easily get out the Tornado Dragon and Abyss Dweller, for example, there will always be a format in which this deck can really, really compete. But, there's a but, of course. Like, Tiger is a 1 still, and they did get Tenki to 2. I just don't think it's enough. And if you were to mash it with Tri-Brigade, you would just get to the point of drawing these weird hands where you have only one engine or only the other engine, and there is no segue. Like, you cannot mash it to the highest potential, I guess, that a deck could get to if it maybe had a bit more consistency. So if it had an additional tiger or tiger at 3, that would be insane, you know. Let's not get ahead of ourselves. But yeah, you know, Lunalight is really nice, but it is lacking that additional tiger, I think. And yeah, right now is probably just not the best time for it. I'll put it in, I don't know where I want to place it, because Lunalight as well as Lyrilisk is, in my opinion, like together with Brigade. So what do we want to do actually? Let me think about it. So I'll place Lunalight in not good. Yeah, I think I need to place Lunalight itself in not good, like somewhere down here actually. And then we can fetch Brigade, it's down here, and then we can place Brigade next to Lyrilisk, because I still think that the bird package is not bad. And we can keep this here in tier 2. I think that would make sense. Okay. If you only skip to the end of this video, it's not going to make sense. But hopefully, if you're still here watching, it makes sense. Now, I think we need to pace things up a bit, because I have spent a lot of time talking about all of these decks. And naturally, I'm passionate about that, but I don't want to keep you for too long. So let's go. You know, mainly I'm also pacing up because I really dislike the Madolche deck and I just want to get rid of it. So, Madolche, it's rogue. It's like, I guess it's rogue-ish down here. Next to Dino? Above Dino? Next to Dinomorphia, I guess? Yeah, next to Life Twin. I dislike it. No particular reason why, I just really dislike the deck. However, I'm not taking anything away from it. The deck is not bad, it's just not, you know, exactly a top contender. So Rogue is fitting. Then we have Magical Musket. This deck is just, it's not that great. We can put it at, I guess, top of not good, because if it gets going, it gets going, and it's really hard to stop. But it's not really going to get going if your deck is remotely good. So there's that. We have Grand Majo, and so the Desires hit hurt a lot, and Desires came back to 2, so there's something. But Grand Majo is still, I guess, better than Dragoonini? Or is it worse? I'll put it at the bottom of not good. It just really doesn't seem that great to me. I guess maybe, yeah, somewhere over here. And we can place Dark Magician above Blackwing. Let's not be unfair. We can place it over here. Then we have Marincess. So from what I know, Marincess is getting some kind of support. I have not read it yet, but I do know it's getting support. However, like I always say, this deck list, this tier list is, you know, right now, the format right now. So, yeah, Marincess is just not great. I'll put it in bruh, actually. Like, it's just Marincess. I don't know. Then we have Mathmag. And this is also one of the decks that people were really like, what are you doing? Why did you place Mathmag as low as you did? I know what you mean. I'll place it in Rogue. But yeah, I don't... How do I put this? I think the deck is okay. And I think if you're a good Mathmag pilot, you can also do quite well. And I also think that the XYZ is just, it's kind of busted. And then when you have the, like, main deck effect monster granting it the effect to negate, if you don't think about that, like, at all times, if you just forget it because it doesn't say on the Xyz monster, it just catches you off guard, and that's really annoying. But other than all of that, yeah, it also has extenders, but you can deal with Mathmag, I think. So I won't place it higher than Rogue. I might place it higher than Atignister, I guess. Maybe higher than Dragon Maid. Let's just leave it here. Hopefully you Mathmag players are more satisfied with where Mathmag is right now. But I don't think it should go higher than that. Then we have Mech Knight, which Mech Knight is... I love Mech Knight to death. I love the deck so much, but it can never achieve anything, and that's so sad to see, but it's just not good enough. I'll put it in not good because it's just not doing enough. And at all times, you know, it's like, oh, Mech Knight might do something, but then it just never does. Like, I do know that it had, like, a top, I think, like a very long time ago. But other than that, the deck is just not good enough, sadly. Then we have Mermail. I'll place Mermail in, I guess not good. I don't know where to put it because it's not that bad, but it's also, damn, I don't know. I'll put it at the bottom of Rogue. Did I do any of the decks like wrong right now? Let's backtrack a bit. So Adamantia could go higher than Fluffle, and everything that's down here, Draco is worse than all of that, I think. Like this maybe. Then we have BA, which is I guess next to Fluffle. We have the B-Trooper stuff. Yeah, I think this is fine. So Monarch is just a brat here. My friend, like from locals, he just plays Monarch a lot just for fun. He always trolls with, you know, how Monarch is a cool deck, even though we all know it's not, and it's really not, but it's just really a bad deck. So yeah, Monarch can go in the brat here. Next to the Marine's deck. Okay, then we have Mystic Mine. It's just not good. Like right now, if this is the point in time where a Mystic Mine burn deck is still something that beats you and you like struggle to play against it, then it's really, you really need to ask yourself, what are you doing? Because this deck is really bad. So I'll put it in not good. Let's just decide where. I think I might be getting sick. Like this is probably why I'm struggling as much as I am. Like I feel my nose is so stuffy. So where do we want to place Mystic Mine? I guess we can place it not that low, because sometimes when they have the perfect combination of the Goddess Skull Oracle, I think it's called, and the Mystic Mine and the Dark Bribe and a Solemn Judgment, then you need to, you know, lower your head and just be like, okay, we can go to game 2, and then you beat them in game 2 and 3. But yeah, Mystic Mine is just not that great. Then we have Necros. Necros is also not good. I'll just throw it in, I guess, next to Cosmo. It's just bad. The deck is just kind of bad. Then we have Numeron, also bad deck, just a really, really bad deck. Then Orcust. So it's funny that Harp is a representative of Orcust because it's still not back. Yeah, Orcust is not good. But I'll place it, I guess, next to maybe Paleo or something like that. That would be a good call. Because Orcust, it can get going, but it really should not be disrupted. So if they do normal summon that Girsu, not the Ningirsu, not the Dingirsu, just the Girsu. If they normal summon that Girsu, and if that Girsu doesn't get disrupted, then the Orcust player can start to get going, but it usually does. Like, let's be honest, does Girsu ever go through? I really don't think it does. So yeah, Orcust is just not that great. Then we have Plunder. Honestly, Plunder, I think, is Rogue. I'll place it quite high, but I think I'll place it here. Is that okay, or is it a bit too low? I'm not sure. Let me think about it for a second. It can be played with Brave, and overall I think Plunder is also one of these decks that requires a good pilot, because you need to think ahead and manage your resources properly. But I did find myself in a situation more times than I would like to admit, where I just didn't comprehend what the Plunder deck did, and it just did way too much and really caught me off guard. Granted, that was some time ago, but still, you know, Plunder, I think, if played properly, can be quite a bit of a threat. So yeah, I mean, maybe above Madolce? Like over here is fine. Dynamorphia could go a bit lower though, so this is fine. Okay, then we have Pendulum. So the new Link monster, that's like the pseudo Electromite, I guess, it did boost up Pendulum, and they did get boosted up by the ban list, and they can be played with Brave. So with all of that being said, I think I will gladly place Pendulum in Rogue. Not sure where though. Maybe like above Dragon Maid. See, with Pendulum, the way it is you need to be an incredible pendulum player to pilot them properly, to pilot them in the format we are in right now, to pilot them with the new support, with Brave, with all of that. I really do think you need to be skilled enough. And together with that, the deck is still going to struggle a bit. So there is some inconsistency sometimes, and you really need to take into account that Pendulum as an entire mechanic has been hindered a lot. But slowly, I think things are sort of trickling down from the ban list. You will be getting a lot more stuff, I think, in the near future. But I do still think that Konami can be a bit slow with that, just because if Pendulum gets one card too much, it's just going to take over. Like, there's no stopping it. So right now, I think it's just chilling here in Rogue, and that's pretty much it. Then we have Phantom Knight. So Phantom Knight is tier 2 for sure. I'll place it above Drytron. Yeah, I think this is fine. So Phantom Knight is, let me just get a bit more comfortable. So Phantom Knight is a really strong deck, and it's also a really hard deck to play. And when you think about decks that sort of, are not prank kits and can still utilize the Brave engine, there will be Phantom Knight, and it will also be Virtual World, but I still do think that Virtual World is better, and it's also a bit easier to learn. So all of this is just not really in favor of Phantom Knight. I think it's tier 2 and not higher than that because of everything that I have mentioned. And there's also the fact that Phantom Knight struggles with consistency. Like, sometimes you will just open the most disgusting hand you can think of. And it's also interesting because you don't really need to play Brave. You have so many extenders because we don't have Max C in the TCG, so we can afford to play more stuff in the Phantom Knight strategy. But still, you need to calculate those ratios to perfection. You need to decide on the 40, 50, 60 card build because you have so many extenders that you can play. But then you shouldn't play too many of them because you can brick on just random stuff that doesn't work together. So with Phantom Knight, I think there are so many downsides that, it shouldn't be placed higher than tier 2. However, if piloted properly, if built properly, I think it can perform really well. So it's also not that represented. So, taking representation and the conversion rate, like I keep mentioning, into account as well, there's also that. Then we have prank kits. So where do prank kits go? Like, do they just go at the bottom of Rogue? I guess, right? God, why didn't I think of that sooner? So yeah, they don't have anything left. It's not that I wasn't considering how the deck could be played. I just didn't really think about where it should be placed. We could place it in Rogue, but yeah, I think it's just straight up Rogue. Like, all of these decks up here, they have consistency. And prank kits, used to have much better consistency with it being a one-card combo, but right now, it's not anymore. So you need to have prank names, you need to have pandemonium, you need to have polymerization, either one of these, and an extender if you don't get to your names. So probably the Rogue tier would be best. Like, I guess I'll put it maybe above Cyber Dragon, I guess. But I don't think it should go higher than that, and that's really sad. But they, Meow took the hit where Brave should be the one taking the hit. So there's that. Then we have Psyframe. Why is Psyframe on this list again? Like, I'll put this in the bra tier. I'm not even playing. Like, why would you play Psyframe ever? Like, Psyframe is just, I don't know, maybe I'm just pissed off because one time on Dueling Book, I really just got killed by someone randomly playing like an Epsilon or something instead of Gamma, and I don't think it was even a Psyframe player, so this is what really pissed me off. But yeah, I guess bruh. I guess bruh would be nice. Oh, okay, so we found the punks. So punks go together with Tyrian, and we are going to be taking this as like one deck. So tier 2. we said everything that needed to be said. Okay, now this probably should go like where Exodia is, like Red Eyes. Imagine playing a Red Eyes deck. It's like, I'm not bashing you. It's just so interesting to me because it's really bad. So if you're playing it for nostalgia, anything like that, props to you. I'm on board with that. But yeah, if you're actually considering how Red Eyes can perform, it really can't. So Salamangreat, this is another one. I'll put it in tier 2. Confidently put it in tier 2. Maybe over here would be perfect. It's not rogue, it's not good. I really did Salamangreat wrong on the last tier list. I don't know what I was thinking, but right now it's getting better and better. It has Mirage Talia, it has the circle, and it's really nice to see that. Almost at full power, actually. It utilizes the Decode Locker Hitso, it utilizes Access Code Talker, and it's just the deck is really, really nice. And actually, I might just place it a bit higher. Let's do... Hold on, let me think about that. So, yeah, I think this is perfect. Like, this exact placement, I think, is perfect. Okay, then we have, okay, I guess I grabbed Sky Striker. We can play Sky Striker in tier 2. I'm just not sure where yet, but I think I'll do it above, above Dragon Link would be nice, but I guess... Thinking if Sky Striker is better than the Zoo deck. Let's do it like that, maybe. Damn, I don't know. I wish I could like place them, you know, just on one like level, because I don't think any of these is better than the other one. Like these down here, they're sort of interchangeable to me, but yeah, I guess this would be the perfect place. Sky Striker lost Anaconda. If you still want to play DPE together with the bricks, I guess 2 Fusion Destiny, 2 bricks, you know, that's kind of risky in my opinion. You can play Go Second if you want. If you really build your deck properly to counter Dispia, I think you have a very good Dispia matchup, so that's something to take into account. You can play Tyrian in it, which is also really nice, and if you're looking for a good deck list, I have one on my previous video with the introduction to the Tyrian archetype. So Sky Striker, definitely a good contender, but this deck really needs to be piloted to perfection. Like there is not a single thing I think you can do wrong in this strategy. So yeah, Sky Striker, you know, tier 2, that's probably nice. Then we have Shadow. I'll place this, actually no. I wanted to say I'll place it next to Invoked as if it was one deck, but honestly IDS was never played with a huge Shadow package. And when it was played with a bigger Shadow package, I don't think it was that great. So I'll play Shadow in not good because it's really not good. Let's just decide where. Let's throw it, I don't know, next to Lunalight maybe? Like the actual Shadow deck, Trap Shadow, like something like that is just not doing enough. Definitely not. Then we have Speedroid. Yeah, Speedroid, I don't know much about them, but I would say it's not that great. So next to Necros? Something like that, maybe? I don't know. Speedroid is not really... Doesn't really seem like it's that big of a threat. Exactly. Then we have Spyro. Spyro is just... It's not good. Master Plan is still banned, and that's pretty much what killed it completely. You have Quick Fix at 1, the Field Spell at 1, and of course, with Master Plan banned, I don't think Spiral can achieve anything. So, yeah, let's put it next to Dark Magician, I guess. Maybe. Okay, then we have... we have Stun. For a second, I didn't know what that was, but that's pretty much like Fossil Dyna, you know, all of that. Like that kind of strategy. And that's not that bad, but it's not exactly great. And these kinds of strategies, I think we have come to the point in time where you have a lot of side deck cards, if not main deck cards, that can deal with this kind of decks. So I'll place it in not good, but maybe next to Draco, like above Orcust. I don't know how many people like actually, you know, take Stun or Orcust to an event, but I guess it's pretty much, you know, there and there. So yeah, Stun. Then we have Guru. Honestly, I don't know. Sometimes I just want to place Guru in the Bra tier because the deck is just that bad. Like, it's not... Maybe we could place it next to Ultrageist, but it's even worse than that, you know? Maybe... I guess down here? next to, oh god, I don't know where to place Guru. Like, it's just not great. I don't know. Here? I honestly don't know. Like, these decks down here, they're really bad. And like I said many times in this video already, some decks just do what they used to do, and that's not enough. Then we have Swordso, and this is definitely going at the top of tier 1. Last tier list, when it came to Swordso, it was a bit confusing because I didn't have an actual like regular Swordso card, but that's the picture for Swordso. It's at the top of tier 1. Definitely such a strong deck, and it's such a fair deck at that. And with something like Despia, something that's just really overwhelming the format right now, it's sort of refreshing to see Swordso just not utilizing Brave, playing Tinny, playing just a solid deck that you can also interact with actually and even beat if you know, just play well enough, draw good cards, all of that. Like, the deck is not unfair, and this is what I like about Swordso. So definitely tier 1, lost nothing, gained Desires. It's a second copy of Desires, which is huge, which is a huge boost for consistency. So I'm really a fan of Swordso. Tier 1, definitely. Then this is supposed to represent any kind of synchron, you know, a deck that just does synchro stuff, but it's not Swordso. So I guess I'll put this in not good, but I don't know where. I guess next to Dark Magician. That would be fitting. Then we have Thunder Dragon, which is just not good. And as much as this saddens me, it's not doing enough. Like, legit, what would your Embor be? Just Thunder Dragon Titan pass? Like, what is that? One pop? You know, I'm not trying to diss on the Thunder deck, but it's just really bad. So maybe we can place it next to Orcus, but it's even worse than that. I guess over here. And by placing it next to Orcus, obviously I'm referring to like the entire Eternal format stuff. So they can just chill there together. Then we have Trap Tricks. I was reminded to put Trap Tricks, I think, in the comment section of my previous video. So I included Trap Tricks, but the deck is just really not great, you know? We can place it next to the other trap decks, being Draco and Altergeist, because it's a trap deck that's not really doing that well. Then we have Trickstar. Okay. Where do I want to place Trickstar? Let me think for a second. So I have seen some stuff, right? We have all seen some stuff and documents, if I'm not mistaken, of just how, like, proof of how Trickstar can be a good deck moving forward. But I don't really think that's the case. You can play it with Branded, I guess, and with Dogmatica and all of that. But I guess I'll place it in not good, and then we can wait and see. So let's make a deal of placing Trickstar somewhere over here and then just waiting and seeing, because the deck does not seem good enough in theory for me, but I have not seen it have any kind of success yet. So I'm open to discussion when it comes to that, but yeah, at this point in time, it's really not that great. Then we have Unchained. I'll place this in Rogue. I strongly dislike Unchained as well, which I always say that, and it doesn't really matter now that I think about it, you know, when I tell you which decks I dislike, but I just really dislike Unchained. I'll put it in Rogue though, because the deck is not bad, and if you don't have any kind of other way to deal with the Unchained deck as just destruction, then you're really in a bad spot, because they trigger off of destruction, so that's lame for you as well. But you know, in theory, if you have any other kind of way to deal with the deck, you should be fine. So yeah, I guess I can place it somewhere here in Rogue. Utopia is just bad. I'll put it next to Numeron. It's not doing anything. And then we have Virtual World, which I'll place this in... God. Do I want to place this in tier 1? I'll place this in tier 1. Don't come at me, but I think this deck is amazing. Honestly, if you build it properly, so it's as little bricky as possible, and I think you should include Brave as well. It's sort of a must. It's not a brick in your deck, it's sort of what you want to see if you get your plays going, or even if you cannot get your plays going, there is something for you. You have the level 3 in Enchantress, which can come up, the level 7 in the Griffin Rider, which can also come up. Making Baron as fast as possible, like if you don't exactly get to the Brave token part, if you just get to the Griffin Rider, you can also make Barona very easily and be protected. I know not a lot of people are playing Nibiru, but some just might jump back on that train, so you need to be prepared, I think, and I would much rather always play safely than play into it. So yeah, I think Virtual Road is a top contender, and I really know what you think. Yeah, and then we have Road Chalice, which should go in the broad tier. It's just really bad, and I hate that because the deck is amazing, but it's just bad. So there's that. Then we have Zombie. I'll put it in... Do I want to put it in not good? I think I do, but maybe at the top of not good. I'll place it here. Like, it's not bad, but it's just not enough. And at that point, I guess you can just play Outlich with Zombie, so that would then be an Outlich deck with a Zombie engine, or a Zombie deck if you want to look at it that way. But that's picking it apart way too much. So Zombie. It's not bad, but it's not that great. So the not good category, I think, is fine. And then we have Zodiac. Hold on, let me just place Zodiac. I'll place it next to Lunalight, and that's the only reason why I'm doing that. Let me just place this a bit better. Okay, so you can see everything. And I'm doing that because we discussed Tri-Brigade when it came to the actual Lunalight strategy. Because Tri-Brigade can be played with Zodiac, can be played with Bird, can be played with Lunalight. And all of these strategies, especially the actual Tri-Brigade strategy, get something from Tinky coming to 2. So I have seen some tops actually and builds from people playing Zodiac Tri-Brigade, which being able to utilize Zeus is not bad. It's really a power play, but you cannot always get to it. So I guess you play a small package, and at that point, that's not a Zodiac deck, it's a Tri-Brigade deck. So it's down here because the actual deck without Dryden is nothing, but it can still be an engine just like Lunalight can be. So yeah, God, this was this was something. I don't know why I've started feeling so bad during this video, like physically bad. Other than my physical, the way I feel right now, I'm great. I'm very satisfied with how this video turned out, how this list turned out. I think everything is pretty much where it should be. We covered 76 decks, so if you're still here watching, I appreciate you so much, and please let me know down in the comments what you think. If I have maybe missed anything, which hopefully I have not with 76 decks right now, I'm gonna drink some coffee, trying to make myself feel a bit better physically, and just look at this list, maybe dissect it a bit more. But for you, that's going to be the end of the video. Please let me know what you think. I honestly love hearing your opinion, even if you don't really agree with me. But yeah, that would pretty much be it. If you like the video, like it, give me a sub, check out all the social media, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace!